Hey, we are here at Mont-Saint-Michel, located on a small island off the coast of France. It's a popular tourist attraction.
So we finally made it to Mont-Saint-Michel. But before I tell you the history about this religious landmark, let me tell you some information about the surrounding area of the tidal island. We parked by the main parking lot, which is 1.5 miles away from the island. And close by is the visitor center where you can find information about the natural history of the area. As stated, the connection between the Mont Saint-Michel and the mainland has changed over the centuries. Previously connected by a tidal causeway and covered only at low tide, this was converted into a raised causeway in 1879, preventing the tide from scoring the silt around the mount.
We are now walking to Mont-Saint-Michel over there, about 38 minutes walk, one of famous tourist attraction in France and the world.
The coastal flats has also been reclaimed as pasture land, decreasing the distance between the shore and the island. Also, the river was canalized, reducing the dispersion of the flow of water. All of this caused the silting of the bay. So in 2006, the French Prime Minister announced to build a hydraulic dam using waters from the river and the tides to help remove the accumulated silt and to make Mont Saint-Michel an island again.
They built a bridge across to Mont Saint-Michel, across the water.
The project also includes a removal of the causeway and its visitor car park. That's why now we park here at the mainland. Another addition was in 2014 when a new bridge by architect Dietmar Fechtinger was opened to the public. The light bridge allows the waters to flow freely around the island and improves the efficiency of the now operational dam. The sea surges into Mont Saint-Michel Bay twice a day. It flows out as far as 15 kilometers from the coast during spring tides. This uneasing movement of the tides has shaped the landscape itself. The bay is also a wetland area of great significance for water birds, not only as wintering grounds, but also as a staging area during migration. Every year in mid-January, over 100,000 birds take refuge here. So as we're nearing the island, let me tell you now the history. It was originally called Mont-Saint-Michel, but became known as Mont Saint-Michel in the 8th century. When Saint Albert, the Bishop of Avranches, founded a church there on the persistent request of the Archangel Saint Michael. It was consecrated on October 16, 708. It was established as an abbey in 966 and became a renowned site. Alongside Rome, Jerusalem, and Compostela, Mont Saint-Michel became one of the most popular pilgrimage destinations in the West. When the Benedictine monks settled on the mount in the 9th century, accounts of miracles began to circulate. More and more pilgrims made the journey. This is the period when the roots of Mont Saint-Michel appears for the first time in records, around 1025. In addition, the Dukes of Normandy, many kings of France came to the mount to venerate the Archangel, who was the traditional protector of their kingdom. The texts also cite the arrival of shepherd children from all over France, Flanders, and Germany. The architects of the original Romanesque abbey was met with geographical constraint of the rocky outcrop. They were forced to innovate by designing a system of terrace crypts on which the future buildings would rest. The church took the shape of a simple Latin cross at the summit of the mount. Living quarters such as dormitories, refectories, common rooms, and the chaplaincy were arranged around it. In 1203, it was partly burned when King Philip II of France tried to capture the mount. He compensated the monks by paying the construction of the monastery known as La Merveille, or the Wonder. The island, which was fortified in 1256, resisted sieges during the Hundred Years' War between England and France, and the French Wars of Religion of 1562 to 98. The monastery declined in the 18th century, and the only 7 monks were living there when it was dissolved during the French Revolution of 1787 to 99. It became the state prison under Napoleon I and remained a prison until 1863. In 1874, it was classified as a historic monument and restored. Today, some millions of tourists visit Mont-Saint-Michel, which still houses a sanctuary every year. The association, the Roots of Mont-Saint-Michel, has recreated a network of marked trails to follow the old roads to the mount and discover its culture and history. It was classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979.
After walking for almost an hour, we finally reached the entrance to Mont-Saint-Michel. There, as you can see, a lot of people, and it's free admission.
Since we are entering the island, let me tell you some historic sites that are worth seeing. Let's first visit the houses in the village. The 15th century wooden house named the Mermaid, located at the start of the main street, is one of the village's oldest houses. At the top end of the 15th century village, you will also find the House of Artichoke, formerly the Unicorn Hostelry. The House of Communal Oven, and the House of Spinning Sow. The village history has always been linked to that of the Abbey. The very first shops were set up to sell souvenirs or rent lodgings to the pilgrims. Cuckold's Alley. You will not find a street name sign at the entrance of this alleyway, since no road of the mount has one. Instead, everyone takes their bearings from the names of the houses or their decorative details. This particular alley with a steep flight of stairs provides a sheltered passageway in the heart of the village. It is named Cuckold's Alley due to its extreme narrowness, as a husband or wife wearing the cuckold's horns will be unable to pass through. If you climb the steps, you will reach the village cemetery. Other passageways will lead to superb views over the bay and the Abbey. Hidden Gardens. Mont-Saint-Michel often brings to mind a narrow street filled with shops and visitors. However, if you move away from the main street by climbing the steps leading away from it, you will discover some remarkable panoramas and a small secluded gardens. A walk around the ramparts. Dating mainly from the 15th century, the ramparts were built above all to protect the mount and its abbey against the English during the Hundred Years' War. The Rampart Walk offers a fine vista over the bay and an opportunity to savor the sea air, particularly at the very high tide before reaching the Abbey. Now we reach the Abbey. Let me tell you more about the history later. But now let me point out some small but important details inside. The Abbey cloister, the dragon and floral design. The cloister shelters a garden recreated in 1966 by Brother Bruno de Seneville, a monk and botanist. The sculptures in the galleries featured 13th century carvings of a stylized and symbolic garden, evoking the richness of creation. Saint Albert, the Bishop of Avranches. The story goes that the archangel appeared to the bishop in a dream and asked him to build a sanctuary on the mount. As Albert doubted his vision, Saint Michael repeated the visitation with increasing persistence, going as far as piercing a hole in Albert's obstinate skull with his finger. Saint Michael the Archangel. Reaching towards the skies from the pinnacle of the Abbey church spire with the slain dragon at his feet, Saint Michael the Archangel is leader of the heavenly hosts. As guardian and protector of the Catholic Church, he waits souls during the Last Judgment and accompanies the souls of the chosen ones to the gates of paradise. Another worth visiting is the Église Saint-Pierre or the Church of Saint Peter. It is part way up the Grande Rue of Mont-Saint-Michel. It is small and blends in with the stonework all around it, so it's easy to miss. It dates back to the 15th and 16th centuries. It is considered a parish church of Mont-Saint-Michel. However, in the interior is a side chapel with a statue of Saint Michael slaying the dragon. The church provides a quiet oasis and a break from the hustle and bustles of La Grande Rue. So lastly, as you get hungry from visiting the historic sites, the walls, and the shops, let us taste some local cuisine. So we went to La Mer Polar. Mer Polar, born as Anne Bostriad in 1851 and nicknamed Annette, was a simple chambermaid without much learning. She nonetheless became a businesswoman thanks to a very simple idea. She arrived in Mont-Saint-Michel in the service of Edouard Correr, head architect with the Historic Monuments Office, in charge of restoring the Abbey. She married Victor Polar, the baker's son, and the young couple then took over the Hostelier de la Tête d'Or. At the time there were no crowds. Visitors were still dependent on the tides as the causeway had not yet been built. They would arrive when the tides permitted at any time of day or night, so it was important to feed them quickly as soon as they entered the town. Annette's brainwave was to serve them a tasty omelette while they waited, and this was to make the young cook famous. And so La Mer Polar was born. As you can see from the posters and pictures, there are a lot of famous visitors at this restaurant. So let us try out some of their famous omelette and other things in the menu. As we come at the end of our tour, please enjoy our pictures as always.
Hey guys, so that sums up our tour of Mont-Saint-Michel. Until next time, bye!
So guys, if you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and feel free to comment.
Hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell. Come on guys, hit the bell. For notifications. And don't forget to share.
And like.